All right, everyone, the time has come. Please give a warm welcome to Zojalyx running Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zojalyx. Welcome back. I guess I'm doing a Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. It's all right. You guys donated some great money for this randomizer to happen and to get it extended. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to run the settings that IBA was originally going to run, but I am able to run fresh faces. I'll kind of explain how the settings work as we get into it. But basically, to kind of describe how the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer works is that we will be playing through Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, but everything is going to be shuffled and scattered across every single world. There are going to be a few worlds that we won't be playing in, such as Atlantica and the World That Never Was. That's just how that works for these specific settings. And so we won't be seeing the World That Never Was, but we will be seeing the final bosses, and I'll kind of explain how that works as we go on later on throughout the randomizer. And also, we won't have to do all the worlds in a specific order. We are going to be doing we can do them in any order thanks to a mod developed by Sonic Shadow Silver 2 called the Garden of Assemblage mod. What that does is that puts all of the worlds into a big garden, and we can access those different portals and go and access all the different worlds through those various portals. So, without further ado, we are going to be getting started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, one of the best things about this is you'll see my tracker on the just to the right of my game. We have an auto tracker. So what that means is that as I will be finding different things, you will see them populate in that tracker in said world where I have located them. Where I have located them, you will see them show up in said tracker there. Now you're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing right away. What I'm doing right now to set us up is I am getting all of my necessary abilities locked on to my various party members, and so that way you will be able then to see everything that goes on with hi, thanks for reminding me of all those things. That way we have ourselves all set up as best as we possibly can. Now, in these settings, like we had mentioned before by the host, these settings are normally played on beginner difficulty, but I am going to be playing them on critical mode. How that works is that most things throughout this randomizer will actually be able to either one or two shot me, regardless of how high my defense is. So that means that this is the most difficult difficulty that the game has to offer. But to help a little bit with the balancing of the game, they also give me a 1.25% damage boost. So I will do slightly more damage than I would normally do if I were playing on standard difficulty. And so immediately starting off, we actually go into Pride Lands on crit. And what this does is this will give me a good chunk of level ups right off the bat, because I am coming here significantly earlier than when the game would normally want you to be here. So I can pick up a few chests very early on, and that will... Okay, hello! We are striking first immediately with one of our key win condition items. So that's huge. And so we are going to be picking up all of these chests. One of the big reasons why we go into Pride Lands right away as well is because we will see... wow, words are hard. We go into Pride Lands because we get our fastest movement as soon as we enter the world in Pride Lands. And so the rest of the worlds, we are going to be moving around as base Sora, and so it is very important that we are going to utilize this world early, because there is a possibility that we could be finding faster movement here to be able to help us progress through the worlds quicker. So, how this particular randomizer works and what the goal is to complete the randomizer is there are 3 items that we are looking for. That is actually 4 specifically. We are looking for the proof of non-existence, which we've already found, the proof of peace, and the proof of connection. And each of those different proofs, and the promise charm. Those are all of the required items that we need in order to complete this randomizer. And so with this randomizer, they're going to be scattered anywhere throughout these worlds, so we don't quite know. And you're probably wondering, well, how do you not have your seeds take like 6 to 8 hours? Well, that comes with this beautiful thing called hints. Throughout this randomizer, we're going to be finding various items that will be offering to us different hints that will help us to be able to find the proofs and the promise charms just a little bit quicker. So what we are going to be looking for are specific items. I believe it is the Ansem reports in these settings. Once we find one of those reports, then they will give us all of the information of what important checks are going to be in a world. And those important checks are anything that you will see that will show up on the tracker. So that will be specific world unlocks. That will be, I just want to make sure once I grab all the chests that I didn't forget any, because this is a little bit impromptu for me doing this randomizer, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. Perfect, we're good there. And then, so anything that you see down at the bottom is what is considered to be an important check. So those are the things that we are looking for throughout this seed. And since I'm playing on critical mode and I really do want to continue to donate money to the Real Hope Project, I will be donating $1 per death. This will not be for like any intentional deaths like the one that I just took there, but any unintentional deaths I will be donating $1 for. So one of the things that you're probably noticing is if you've played Kingdom Hearts 2 casually, you're probably like, whoa, I don't remember Sora wearing purple. Well, I used some visual mods throughout this randomizer because visual mods and some audio mods are just super fun. I did turn some of them off for the sake of the marathon, just because they're kind of a little too weird, and I didn't want things to get a little too weird. But we have indeed do have some fun visual mods, like just this little menu changing, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So currently what we are doing right now is these are what are called shotguns. These are checks that we can do without doing any major fights. So we are able to go into each of these different worlds and grab these chests purely just by movement alone. Ooh, geez, hello, I got instantly deleted. So that's one death right off the bat. And that shows you right there how quickly you can die in critical mode. That enemy spawned, and because of the animations that they use when they spawn, he killed me. So that's not uncommon. So this, especially in the early stages of the randomizer, this is where the deaths are going to be their most risky. So I'm going to be playing a lot of this early points, a little bit safer, as well as taking out some of these enemies as well will get me some additional EXP. And we can get checks all the way up to level 50 in these settings. And so to also accommodate for any level grinding, we do have a really nice setup for with an EXP multiplier, so that way we will be hitting higher levels a little bit faster, so you won't have to... Oh boy! Hold on, I'm panicking. Don't worry, we're good there. Perfect, okay. Made it through. My health is still a little low, so I'm just gonna give myself a potion. Hopefully, I will survive here. These rooms are especially scary in the early stages of the rando, and if I need to, I can just panic and limit, but I think we should be fine, taking this nice wide path, and just like that, we are golden. So we're going to do this quick little mini game here, and then we will move on to our next shotgun world. Any worlds that you do see in our tracker are going to be, you'll kind of see like the progress throughout the world show up in the tracker as well. You'll also be noticing there are going to be specific items that we are going to be locating that, ooh, we got Magnet Burst. That is a very, very useful ability. But you will see specific items and ability items that we will show up that will be a little weird. They're going to be ones. We found one earlier called Ice Cream. There was also Battlefield of War. Those items specifically are ones that will give us our next world visit unlocks. So currently in these settings, you can only do the first visit. In Kingdom Hearts 2, there are a bunch of worlds that do require you to visit a world multiple times, and so we can only do our first visits until we find a specific item that allows us to visit them multiple times. So since we found that Battlefield of War, that allows us to go to Olympus Coliseum for its second visit, and the Ice Cream allows us to go to Twilight Town for its second visit. And then there are going to be a few others that we will be looking for, like Skill and Crossbones allows us to visit Port Royal for the second time, and there are a bunch of different items that we'll be finding that will also help us to visit the world, and I will explain those more when we find them, because if I explain them all now, you'll forget what I'm talking about by the time we even get there. And I'm not saying... Okay, I will stick with what we got right now. Alrighty, so we're exploring our way through Beast Castle. And we are going to hopefully get through here. We're just going to grab a few chests in here, and then... Actually, I think we are going to go ahead and do the boss fight. We'll give it a few shots, since I did find a cure, which is nice. So there are going to be quite a few tools and things that we are looking for that will help progress through the randomizer. Those tools are going to be, we'll be looking for drive forms and as well as magic spells and world unlocks, and then summons are the main things that we will be looking for, on top of the already necessary proofs and the promise charm. So yeah, if you hear me like think a moment, as you can probably have guessed already, there's a ton of things that we have to think about throughout this randomizer. So it does make things, it can be really easy to lose track of the things that you are looking for, which is why that tracker is one of the nicest things out there, because then we can just we make sure that we can keep all of ourselves put together while we are doing this randomizer. And of course, if anybody has questions, feel free to put them in chat. I would love to be able to answer any and all questions about this randomizer. Oh, this is a little scary. I just need to make sure I don't die, and I died. Okay. But this does still count as an unintentional death, but thanks to also how this randomizer works, we get to use Mickey. Well, actually, it's just how this game works. We get to use Mickey as sort of a friend that we can utilize to help us get what we need, and help us get back up. So I'm going to stand here in the corner and try and charge up. You'll see that drive gauge. I need to charge that up with Mickey. And once that is charged up, then Sora will indeed respawn at full health. I just need to make this go, and then we'll hit this button. And then while he's doing that, we'll zap. That will get rid of Thresholder, and then... Oh, I don't know if I turned off that one mod. We'll find out. Okay, I did. I had a sound mod that played a really, really goofy song for at the end of certain fights, but that mod is... I did remember to turn that mod off. That was when I did want to turn off. So if you do have any questions about the randomizer, because there are a ton of things happening at once, I totally understand if it makes no sense whatsoever and you would like anything explained while we are going through said randomizer. Also, right now, Echo, now is a great time to toss it to you while I am doing this quick little mini game here, where we just need to get light up all these lanterns and expunge the darkness from them.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a question from Gooby that says, why do they call it a randomizer?
Why do they call it a randomizer?
Yeah.
Well, they call it a randomizer because it's random.
There you go, Gooby. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, chat. If you have any other questions or comments about the run, feel free to chat with us. This is a very fun final run here, and I have never seen a randomizer of this run myself, so I'm very curious. I of course love Disney very much, so I'm excited to see how many Disney characters there are in this entire run.
Ooh. That was the fastest place on Earth, by the way. They had their schedule reveal earlier this weekend, and I'm very excited. I'm running Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 all holocrons for it, which is my personal favorite category for that game, so that's like makes it even happier for me because I absolutely love Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. I'll probably submit it for this for next year, and then so that way you guys can see that what that run looks like, because that is one of my favorite Steam games of all time. And all holocrons is one of my favorite categories, so yeah.
Ooh, we'll be excited to see it.
So we just beat up Beast. Don't worry, he's okay. He just needs to. He just had a really bad headache, and we just wanted to make him feel a little bit better by beating him up. That's the best cure for headaches for Beast. Only for Beast, though. I do not condone beating other people up to try and fix their headache. So we are going to. Oh, we found Lamp Charm in our little bounties that we have found in that first visit of Beast Castle so far. We found a cure, which is a really nice spell to have. We found a torn page, and we found our Lamp Charm. Lamp Charm will give us access to the summoning spell Genie, and then we will be, once we have that, now that we have Genie will be a really nice spell to use for other various things. And then we popped in to Land of Dragons, which is great because that gave us another Thunder, which is going to make us significantly stronger. And then, actually, nope, that's not what I want my customized to be. I'm just customizing my spells here quick, just so that way my custom menu is where I want it to be. And having that also, making our Thunder more powerful will make fights a lot easier for us, because, you know, one of the best ways to go fast in a randomizer is to find a lot of the tools that you need quickly, so that way the game becomes significantly easier. And there's going to be these Heartless here. They're going to spin on us. We're going to take another intentional death because the intentional deaths are faster than trying to do these fights the way that you normally would. I actually do need to set up one more thing for this upcoming fight. So a lot of... I did see a question in chat about where do you even begin learning enough to be able to do a randomizer? And my best answer for that question is to literally just start playing the randomizer. This randomizer is stupidly accessible. A lot of people will get super nervous about a randomizer because they will be terrified that, all of my... I don't know the game well enough to be able to figure out where everything is. The chests are really easy to find. They're pretty well, I guess, spread out throughout the game, so it's not like you, they're not easy to miss. The only time I think you would ever miss a chest is in Simulated Twilight Town, which is the tutorial level, and that's only because there are certain chests in there that... On your first playthrough of the game, I would be very, very shocked if you ever found them, because they're in spots that you would not normally go. Whereas in the randomizer, they do become necessary, but that's the only world where I think that even becomes a concern. I'm going to activate Jack's Limit here one more time, which is Dance Call, and we can use this to dispatch these enemies here. These Jack-in-the-Box Heartless that, yes, they would one-shot me, And that's where using limits are very helpful. So what a limit is it is a combo attack that you use with a teammate. It uses up all of my magic, but what it also does is it will allow me to be invulnerable for a brief period of time, as well as you noticed, I dealt a ton of damage, and with 2 of those limits, was able to get through that fight very quickly. We're going to use all of our money on ethers, because they are going to, hands down, be the most useful item throughout the game. And then we will be continuing through our shotguns here. And I do see another question in chat. Yes, this randomizer does have Archipelago support. And a fun little Zojalyx fact lore is my randomizer experience for this game actually primarily comes through Archipelago. I am a big social guy. I'm somebody who I love playing games with friends. And so, like, the biggest thing that I want to do is just do archipelagos all the time, because you can hang out with friends, you can play randomized games together, and, like, you know, Archipelago has come such a long way that when you do Archipelago, like, it doesn't matter if you're like an FPS fan or a simulation game or a survival game or action RPG. There's an Archipelago for literally, I think the only type of Archipelago genre that isn't supported so far is a sports game. And even that I could be wrong about, because they're constantly developing new Archipelagos, and it is just continuing to blow my mind the way that Archipelago has been integrated. One of the things I actually am hopefully wanting to do in the Running for Reals Discord is actually start hosting Archipelago events, which is where we will have a time where we will just get together and do an Archipelago, whether it's a sync or an async, as a Archipelago community. Or as a Running for Reals community, not an Archipelago community. I'm completely turned around there. And another fun fact about lore is that's actually where Echo and I met, is through Archipelago. There's a group of us...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, group of us friends get together once every couple of months. I say couple of months because that's about how long our seeds take us now, to do Archipelago together. We do asyncs, and Echo and my wife, Dr. Pi, and then our other friend, Steve TV Online, we do a team of 4 for Overcooked 2 Archipelago, which is super fun. Highly, highly recommend getting a couple of friends together for Overcooked 2 Archipelago. It is probably my favorite way to play Overcooked, honestly.
Yeah, archipelagos and randomizers, they add a completely new level to any game you've played before.
Mm-hmm.
And it really revives the fun of a game. You get to experience it new every single time you play.
Yep, exactly. So, another fun piece of Zojalyx lore. I have a couple hundred hours into Kingdom Hearts 2. And actually, I think I'm probably nearing 1,000 at this point. But I will tell you this, 90% of those hours are the randomizer. I have spent so much time in this rando. It is my favorite way to play Kingdom Hearts 2. I am a Kingdom Hearts speedrunner, but when it comes to the actual Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix speedrun, it's a great speed game, and the top runners are incredible. But for me, if you want me to enjoy this game, I'm going to be playing the randomizer. So we're going to try and take another intentional death here, but I think my party members might make this a little bit difficult. Or not. Actually, it might be fine. No, Poopy, stop. The one thing I wanted you to do was not make this more difficult. Okay, I just need to get hit like one more time. There we go. Alright. So, coming to Twilight Town right away is one of the things that is really nice, because right now, since we don't have any hints, the biggest thing that we are doing is setting ourselves up for maximum checks per minute. So we are wanting to get a highest check density possible. And so coming to Twilight Town is really good because it has a ton of checks that we can get. So being able to get a bunch of checks early on allows us to, hopefully, if we don't find our win condition items, then we are able to at least find more tool. We have higher chances of finding the tools that we need, as well as finding other world unlocks, other ways to progress through the randomizer, and giving us more opportunities to clear through the rando. And that's, you know, we're trying to go fast, so going fast in the randomizer means we are wanting to utilize everything that we can to go as fast as possible. So I'm gonna grab a couple more chests here, and then I will make my way up the stairs of the mysterious tower. And in the meantime, that will be another great time to toss it to you, Echo, for any announcements or anything else that you might want to plug.
Absolutely. Well, Zoj, thank you so much for having us all here. As one of the creators of this event, Speedruns for Real Hope. This is my first year as a volunteer and as a runner, but I will definitely be back for next year. Yeah, Real Hope, this is your 4th year, I believe, and you've raised $6,500 in total across all events. That is very, very impressive, and over 10 videos total for kids in foster care. So, and we are very close even to that 11th video, I believe, if I'm doing my math right, math on the fly here. But every dollar gets you so much closer to having a foster kid find their forever home. So thank you everyone who has donated, and if you'd like to donate during this final run, type !donate in chat.
Yes, guys, absolutely do donate. One of my favorite statistics that I like to plug for not just the event, but for the Real Hope Project in general, is the fact, like, a donation as small as 25 cents increases a child's chance of being adopted by like 25 to 50%. Because it exposes those children to more families that are potentially looking at adopting them, and that is one of the that's the whole reason why this event exists. You know, we're doing this event so that way we can raise more money for kids that are in foster care and can help increase their chances of being adopted. So guys, any donation is super, super helpful, and please do continue to donate. In the meantime, we've got other randomizers. We got, well, more randomizer. We're still working our way through our shotgun checks. I did do a little bit more in Twilight Town than what a shotgun would normally deem necessary, but because I had tools for it, I did want to just go through and get all of those done. And in that time, you'll see hovering right in the bottom right of the main part of the tracker is a 100 Acre Wood, where we have actually officially found our first hint in the randomizer. And what that hint does is it reveals to us every single important check that is in 100 Acre Wood. And what we can see in that is that we do indeed have one of our proofs is in 100 Acre Wood, which is a absolutely massive bit of information that we can get this early on in the randomizer, because the more information that we get, the more we know, and the more it helps us to improve our routing. And so it's really important that when we are going through this randomizer that we get as much information as possible. And it's kind of like a bittersweet thing to see that we have 100 Acre Wood as one of the proofs, because there's always a catch when it comes to 100 Acre Wood. That catch is that 100 Acre Wood, while there are 0 fights and it is super easy to go through and clear, you have to find torn pages in order to unlock different areas of 100 Acre Wood. So there is a strong possibility that the final proof will be on the final torn page in 100 Acre Wood. Especially since, as I look at what we have, the 100 Acre Wood has a torn page in it. So that only makes me believe that because randomizers like to be randomizers, never mind, I will just get proven wrong right off the bat. We have already found the proof. That was in one of the faster early stages of 100 Acre Wood. Now, I am still currently going through the 100 Acre Wood because there are some really, really nice abilities and tools that we will be able to get. Also, I talked about minigames. I'm using this mod called Poo Skip, or bear skip, which basically skips all of the mini games. It's a nice little quality of life aspect that does allow us to skip these mini games and make life a lot easier, and just help with the quality of not having to sit through a bunch of mini games, and we can just go through them quickly, especially when we are looking for this very, very specific tool that is in this world called Final Form. Final Form is the most powerful drive form in the game, and so we want to find it quickly, because the faster we find it, then the easier it is to get through the world. But I think that's already all of the torn pages that we can do at this point in time. There are other ways that I can get Final Form, so if we do get it, if we don't get it in 100 Acre Wood, it is not a big deal. I actually can check. Okay, so I don't have the ability for it yet that would allow us to force it out of logic, which is fine. We don't need to force it out of logic. I'm just wanting to see maybe if it was something we could have, but the game did not want to give it to us, which again, totally fine. Rando be rando. Also, these settings. You're probably wondering why these settings are called Fresh Faces. The Fresh Faces settings is actually for a charity tournament that is going to be happening here within the next month, called Fresh Faces. And these are the settings that are used where you will be competing in randomizer races. It is designed to encourage people who maybe are not as familiar with the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, or maybe are interested in getting into it competitively and wanting to do competitive rando, these are the settings that they use for it, and they're super simple to get into. There's not a lot of complicated logic puzzles or anything like that. It's just getting through the randomizer and then using that spoiler log. The spoiler hints is what these hints are called, to reveal the information so that way you can get through the randomizer. I have been playing enough of this randomizer that I have a ton of experience with it, and so these Fresh Faces settings are not my normal settings that I would play on, because I decided that I like to play more difficult settings, enjoy a little bit more logic puzzles, but they do also come at a cost of being a little bit faster or slower. And so I'll probably start working on some settings specifically for marathons, because I do really enjoy doing randomizers in marathons. I think they're super fun, and I think they're a great way to show off the randomizer. So we're gonna push Minnie. Don't worry, she's totally okay with it, because it helps us get to the next checkpoint in the area a lot faster. And so being able to obviously get through the randomizer quickly does help us progress. And certain times we will not be able to utilize... oh boy, this might hurt. I'm gonna jump just to be safe. Okay. This area is technically, you could push her, but with the way that she reacts, it is deemed task only. So we do not push her. Instead, we just utilize our movement that we have, and then we call her over, and hopefully then we can go quickly. And if these bolt towers on beginner don't do a lot of damage, on crit they do a lot of damage. So we want to be very careful. And also, if Minnie takes damage, she will stop moving. And that is part of the reason why I'm using her ability, Faith, to get these Bolt Towers out of the way, because we do not want them to be risking hurting Minnie, so that way we can just get through this very quickly. And here's hoping that she can run up here. Also, I am using an audio mod to use Japanese voices. That's just a personal preference. I personally enjoy the Japanese voice acting in this game over the English voice acting. Some people might not. It's personal preference, but that's just me. So we're going to hop into Timeless River here. There are quite a few more checks we can grab. Oh, that load was a little scary. I thought my game was going to crash there. But don't worry, if the game crashes, you're probably like, I'm pretty sure there's no autosave in this game, so why aren't you saving? Well, when the PC port of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix first came out, it was a absolute mess. It was crashing like crazy. And so the community developed a mod that will autosave the game. So if the game does crash, there is no worry about it whatsoever. We can just autosave the game, and that will allow us to restart at the load zone where our game crashed. So I'm not worried about any crashes being a major factor for us losing any substantial period of time. So huge shout out to the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer community for doing that. And also, looking at my tracker right now, you'll see that the color of Disney Castle has turned from white to blue. That means we have found every single important check in this world, which is absolutely massive. Being able to have every single important check in there means that we do not have to go back to Disney Castle in any capacity. We now have free roam we have collected everything that's there that will be useful for us, and anything else is what is considered a junk item. So, okay. So I was hoping I would maybe find Final Form in this particular torn page that we just got. Unfortunately, did not, but that's okay. Probably means I will not be going back there unless I get another torn page, because I don't want to try and find, I don't want to go on a wild goose chase for Final Form. The only ability that I think I would ever really go on a wild goose chase for in this randomizer is Reflect, which is the most powerful magic spell in the entire game. It is very broken, and so being able to get it early would be super, super helpful. Also, we did find in somewhere, I don't remember where, I can't even, in Disney Castle, we found our third thunder element, which means thunder is now the most powerful that it could ever possibly be. And so that is a absolutely massive thing to have for us in this randomizer, because it means that we can just kind of turn into Zeus for a good chunk of our fights, and that means that we can then get through the game much quicker. And also, I'm going to start equipping some armor because we are done with our forced deaths, so being able to increase that defensive stat will be a very, very useful aspect to our survivability, which when playing on crit, as you have already seen with a couple of deaths that I have, any survivability that we do have is very, very useful. So we are going to Zeus our way through this fight here. This is also part of the reason why I did indeed take by 40 ethers, because we use a ton of magic in this run. And magic becomes the most useful thing that we do get. And so being able to utilize our magic to get through fights quickly is very nice. So getting that early Thundaga does make our lives significantly easier. And also, okay, interesting. That's something. So we just found another report, and that means that our final proof is on one of our drive forms. So each drive form has the ability to level up, and each of those levels will give us a check. So that means that getting all of our... Oh, I definitely should not have... Okay, actually, we can just do this through hits by doing that. Okay. We figured it out. We're good. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it, chat. But it means that in order to find that last proof, not only are we going to need to find the drive forms, but we are also going to need to level them up. So now that torn page that would then lead us to final form goes from being a something we maybe don't want to worry about to something that if we do have an opportunity to find, we will absolutely want to go find it, because we are going to be needing to level up our drive forms. And speaking of that, I'm actually going to switch into master form just to try and get a little bit more experience for it, because the more we can level up a drive form, the better we will be in terms of that area speed. Oh, and there's a combo plus. So another fun thing with drive forms is each drive form actually has its own unique way of leveling up. And so for Master Form, there are these little orbs that will fall on the ground that are Drive Form orbs. And that is what will level up our Master Form. So we want to defeat enemies and find those orbs to level up. And a way that this also adds on top of it is we do have another ability that we have attached to our Master Form Keyblade called Drive Converter. And what that does is that actually turns our drive, it has a chance to turn our money orbs into Drive Form orbs. And so utilizing that Drive Converter does make our lives a lot easier when leveling up Master Form. So we hopefully will be pushing through each of our different worlds quickly enough, hoping that we can find Drive Form. So this is something that I would definitely recommend giving me all of the blessed RNG that you can, because getting a Drive Form, a proof on the Drive Form, is a little bit on the awkward side. Not necessarily something that we exactly want, but it could be so much worse. So we won't complain too much. This is going to be a bit of an auto-scroller fight. We will just be trying to survive here for the next minute. I'm going to be trying my best. It's going to be a little bit difficult because we are on crit, but also I do think that with the armor that we have, as well as the fact that we can utilize Master Form, we should be okay. So, Echo, if you have any announcements or anything at that point, definitely take it away.
Yeah, for sure. This is going very well, I think, so far, but chat, send your good luck. We need all of the bless RNG that we can for Zoj while he's looking for the important items. So send in your love, send in your chat messages, better yet, send in a donation with some good vibes, and we'll be happy to shout you out when you do. So yeah.
Yes, guys, definitely do give your donations. I'm going to give this a little bit of a shout out because this is the marathon closer. This big shout out that I want to give is just to everybody that's been a part of this event this year. If I'm going to be completely transparent with everybody, I was highly considering this year being the last year for Running for Reals. But just the amount of love and support that has come from the community, not just in the donation side of things, but also in the volunteers that have stepped up, runners that have stepped up and done extra things. Just so much love and support has come from this event that I was thinking it over, and me and Dr. Pi were talking, and we were just like, with the way that so many people have stepped up for to help children find their forever families, like, we can't not keep going. So thank you guys so much for just all the love throughout this event. This weekend has been incredible, and being able to continue to keep this event going, it does actually mean a lot, because I wouldn't be able to keep this event going without you guys. So just so much love. Give all of yourselves a round of applause, because without you guys, this event would not be happening. And I mean that from the absolute bottom of my heart. And this event means a lot to me. This cause means a lot to me. My sister-in-law was adopted, and so being able to, and she actually works for the Real Hope Project. And so the amount of, just the way that her story of adoption comes through with being somebody that so much of society counted out because she was in the foster care system. She's now finished her master's degree and is a high school art teacher, and has an incredible family. Her husband is amazing, and she has this beautiful baby boy. His name is Curtis, and I absolutely love him to death. And like, without her being adopted and the everything that just comes from her story just would not be possible without just the wonders of adoption. And so just the fact that that's something that helps me to keep this event going is like, that just shows you the power of what we are doing here, just through her story alone. we're just not going to talk about his bullying Barbosa. That just kind of happened, you know. It was a thing. Barbosa's taken down, and we're good there.
Well, we had a wonderful story, and while you were telling that story, we actually got a $25 donation from IBA that says, "Thank you for an incredible event. Here's to the kids and many more years of this event." Thank you so much for your donation. And that puts us at $797.23. We are $3 away from 800. We can get there so easily, but chat, how far do you think we can go for this event?
Yo, I'm gonna say let's be crazy. Let's shoot for $1,000. Let's do it.
$1,000? Chat, I believe in you.
We absolutely can get that $1,000, chat. I mean, if there's one thing you guys, Twitch chats can do, is y'all can do some amazing things, and I have full faith in every single one of you guys. So let's go for that $1,000, because that would just be a incredible way to end off this event. Oh, actually, going to STT next would definitely be the move with what we are needing to do to get her done. So I'm looking at my tracker, just kind of trying to plan out my next moves here during this fight. Because thankfully we're pretty. This is a pretty early level, like early world in the base game. And with our wonderful power that is Thundaga, we can actually get through parts of this, get through a good chunk of this world very quickly. But we're actually going to pivot, because I'm looking over at my tracker and I can see right above Twilight Town, which is the keyhole looking world, there is Simulated Twilight Town, which is Roxas World, or the tutorial level in this game. This world specifically has 2 of our drive forms. And so that means that this world is actually so necessary for us to complete the seed. So it is very, very necessary that we come here quickly, so that way we can get the stuff that we need to get through this seed. It is going to have limit form as well as valor form. And another fun part about drive forms that makes it so we have to pivot to get them is you have level caps based on oh, that's right. I have to do 3 hits before I can actually... Okay, there we go. Before I can actually do this. Is you have a level cap for the amount of drive forms that you have, which is 2 plus your drive forms. So since currently right now we only have master form, our drive forms can only level up to level 3. And then once we find another drive form, we can level up to 4, 5, so on, until we max out at 7. And so now that we have 3 of our drive forms already hinted, it is going to be absolutely imperative that we do everything that we can to find these drive forms quickly. So I am trying to utilize my magic to just get a bunch of hits on this nobody, because that's what advances this level to allow us then to actually fight him. And then once he's fought, then we can continue on. Another fun little quality of life feature within this randomizer is if you played the vanilla game, you know that Roxas does not have any magic during this section of the game. And in the early days of the randomizer, when we were playing on the PS2 emulator, you actually were at high risk of soft locking if you were using magic in this area. The game just did not like it. And once again, the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer community came in absolutely clutch and made it and modded the randos so that way you can utilize magic however you want to make it so much faster to get through the rando. And it is, once again, one of the most amazing things that helps to make this randomizer as good as it is. Just continuing to make it a lot easier and better for the community to go through and play. So we're just going to be continuing to make our way through this world. So Echo, I will go ahead and I will toss it to you one more time.
Yeah, I have an exciting announcement. We have crossed the $800 barrier, and I have 2 donations to share with you. We have a $3 donation from Sabrina Strats that says, "Here to round it out for you guys, best of luck to Zojalyx. You're using our shared brain cell for a good cause. I'm proud of you." Thank you, Sabrina, for helping us get to $800. And we also have a $5 donation from Sammy Sosa 16, which says, "So happy to see that you'll be keeping this event going. Lots of love to all of our donators and chatters."
Thank you guys so much for the donation. Shout outs to you, Sabrina. Sabrina is a wonderful friend of mine, and my dungeon master also currently right now. So shout outs to her. Yeah, we share a brain cell. I don't think I've ever shared a brain cell more than anybody else, and with Sabrina, which is wild to think about. So we're gonna fight Twilight Thorn. Normally I would use Limit Form during this fight, but Limit Form is in this world, so we have to get through Twilight Thorn in order to get the thing that we would need. And also, normally, again, if you played this, you probably remember this section of mashing triangle being much faster, or much slower. But again, another wonderful quality of life feature in this randomizer is it gets sped up, so that way we get through this reaction command section a lot faster, and we can then hopefully, I can finish this before, but I think, okay, so I am going to have to do one more reaction command setup, which is totally fine. Since we went through and damaged him a lot, we skipped his normal phase, which I thought about maybe seeing if I could skip this out, but I think this overall ends up being faster just with the speed of the reaction commands. Plus, we get to have just this wonderful, beautiful shot of... Oh, never mind. We don't get Goofy. Sorry, guys. No Goofy. But he'll show up later, I'm sure. So we're going to take out Twilight Thorn in the most epic way possible. And we're going to get Magic Lock on, which isn't quite what we need. But again, we know, like... Yes, it's kind of like a bummer that we aren't getting everything right away, but also we do know that when we look at our screen, at our tracker, we know that as long as we keep pushing through this world, we are going to find the checks that we need. So it might be like, oh, you didn't find it, that's unfortunate, but we're still on the right path. It's not like we're going on some wild goose chase looking for the thing that we want and we're not going to be able to find it. We are very much on the right path, and I'm not worried about us finding it. So we're gonna play some Struggle here. Normally, again, this is the tutorial area, which means, wow, then okay, Hainer. I've never used magic like this in Struggle, so this is fun. This is really fun. So in the vanilla speedrun, this part can actually be very difficult because you have to try and AI control Hainer and all the different people that you fight in the Struggle fights with very little tools. But since we have Thunder, I can just sit here and spam it, do a ton of damage, and then when I get rid of all their health, they get knocked down, which means that I can just hit them with another Thunder, and I don't have to worry about them retaliating at all. I can just continue to beat them up while... just continue to kick them while they're down, so I'm so sorry if you're an FF9 fan and you really like Vivi. We're just absolutely beating him up right now, and it's just kind of what it is. So when you are doing the Struggle fights, there are two win conditions that you have. You can either get every single orb, which is 200, or you can have the most amount of orbs when the time runs out. And obviously, since we are trying to speedrun, we will be trying to get the 200 orbs as quickly as possible. So it is very necessary that we utilize all of our different tools to be able to get it. It's something that is very, very necessary when trying to go fast. And here, we're just trying to beat up Axel. We're just going to utilize our tools. Even though we don't have Limit Form, which is my personal favorite tool to use in this world, we still have enough tools that we can get through everything relatively quickly. And it's super fun. And if you... I definitely would always hands down recommend this randomizer. Also, if you guys are somebody that are like, maybe I'm not so much of a speedrunner, but if you're a longtime Kingdom Hearts 2 fan, this randomizer is a great way to continue to enjoy the game. Because if it wasn't for this randomizer, I would not play this game nearly as much. Oops, ouch, that was very rude, Setzer. So I'm just gonna hit you again and take your last orb. Because like we've talked about, you know, it provides a fresh a new fresh way to play the game, because everything is randomized. It's different. You're doing things in different orders every single time. And if you're like me, who grew up playing Kingdom Hearts, you know the story really well, so you don't really need to, you don't play the game for the story as much anymore. You just play the game because you enjoy the game, and it's like, it's fun to play. The mechanics are great, and this is another way that you can continue to enjoy the game. I am a big proponent of randomizers, because I love being able to find ways to make childhood games more fun. And plus, since games are in Archipelago support, it's a way that you can take a game that normally would be a single-player game and play it with friends. When it comes to, so in terms of Kingdom Hearts games with Archipelago support, there's a lot. You can play Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Chain of Memories, Chain of Memories, so both the Game Boy Advance and the PC port of Chain of Memories are available to play in Archipelago, as well as you can play Birth by Sleep is in the Archipelago randomizer as well. And then I believe Kingdom Hearts 3 has a little bit of work being done on it. It's not like playable yet. And then Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance is also seeing work. So you can play so many different Kingdom Hearts games as one randomizer, and I think that is one of the coolest things ever. Because if you're like me, like personally, I prefer Kingdom Hearts 1 over Kingdom Hearts 2. So being able to play Kingdom Hearts 1 as a randomizer and in Archipelago is great, because then I can play the game that I'm more comfortable with. I do still really enjoy Kingdom Hearts 2. I just prefer Kingdom Hearts 1. But that's probably my own weird hot take that a lot of people think I'm weird for, but I stand by my statement. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is overall more fun, but to each their own. And then, so yeah, there's a ton of options, and randomizers are fantastic. They're super fun to race, because I think randomizers are a great way to show off people. It shows off multiple different aspects of a speedrun. So if somebody is a good randomizer player, and a fast randomizer player, I seriously think they have just this crazy skill set, because not only do they have the mechanical skill that it takes to go fast, but also they have enough game knowledge to be able to figure out, okay, based off of what I have, what can I do, and what can I do fast? Because that's what a lot of randomizer speedrunning comes down to, is looking at the tools that you have, looking at the things that you do and do not have access to, and how you can go fast in those. So we did just find limit form, so that's good. We're going to actually just take some time real quick to level it up. One of the really fun things about this randomizer when it comes to specifically limit form is every time that I revert and go back into it, my drive form will reset, but it is only in this world that it will do that. So that means that I can sit here and I can spam this Sonic Blade forever and just continually gain experience for limit form. And that becomes one of the things that makes STT or Simulated Twilight Town as a world actually so useful when you are looking for drive form related checks, because you can utilize this to just do this constantly, and it makes it so nice. So we hit level 5, so that is the max level that we have right now. So that means we will continue on. Normally, since all I have left is that report, I would stop, but I am still looking for Wisdom form is one more drive form that I do need to locate, as well as I need to hint one more torn page so I can go and get final form. So being able to being able to figure out what that hint is to give me more information so I can route where I want to go next is going to be very, very important. Because right now, that's kind of where I'm on the hunt for, is that either that final torn page or Wisdom form. And here, we're going to fight Axel. This is kind of a fun little force fight that the game has for you. And since our stats are really strong, not really anything we have to worry about against him, and we can finish him off. There's our report. Port Royal has been revealed. Unfortunate, because we already have everything that Port Royal has to offer. So we don't have to, that hint unfortunately did not lead us anywhere, but since it was a really fast section, it's not like we really lost too much time. So no big deal there whatsoever. We're just going to open that chest to get that last little piece of armor. And then we are going to head out to, we're actually going to go to Agrabah. So that way we can go and try and locate that. We can locate that next hint to hopefully give us more information. And I'm really hoping that this information that we need is not hidden in Agrabah 2, because Agrabah 2 requires us to get a few special, requires us to get extra magic to activate some puzzles within it. So I'm really hoping that we can find what we need, so that way we can just find what we need in this version of Agrabah, so that way it doesn't become more difficult later on. Not really going to be a big deal either way, just something that I really want to have happen, because that would be most beneficial for RNG purposes. So, if you would, Echo, like to take it away, now is another great time to do so.
Chat, we are getting ever closer to the end of this run, and sadly the end of this marathon, but there is still time to make that number get bigger. We are currently at $805.23. That 23 cents has been there for a long time. I personally like to see smooth numbers. If your team sends or team whole dollar, let me know, but there's still time to send in your donations at !donate for a wonderful cause.
I am 10,000% team whole dollar. Whatever people like to do those weird like cents, I don't know. You guys, you're a special breed, because that's not me. Okay, perfect. So we have found these two abilities called Second Chance and Once More. These are arguably some of the best abilities in the game. While they are not necessary to complete the game, one of the things that they do provide is a lot of additional sustainability. Which again, since we are... Oop, hello. Weird. Hold on a second. While I go into a brief panic, and we're fine. While I am... since I'm playing on crit, it is very important that we have various abilities that help to keep us alive. And Second Chance and Once More do that because they will give us... they give a second chance, will prevent us from being one-shot by enemies, and Once More will make it where if we are locked in a combo from a boss or any enemy, so if any enemy has like a multi-hit attack that just gets us stuck for a little bit, even if our HP hits 0, we do not die. So very, very, very useful abilities to have when you are playing on critical mode. And it is something that I did not realize how useful they were when I first started playing this randomizer, because when I first started played a ton on beginner, and that is where I just felt the most comfortable. But then as time went on and I just continued to play the game more and more and more, I got a lot more comfortable with playing on. I started playing on crit to give myself a little bit more additional difficulty. And that then also set myself up where I realized how necessary certain abilities like Second Chance and Once More were, so that way I wasn't averaging 50 to 100 deaths per season. So I'm utilizing Valor Form in this fight here. This is so that way... Normally, I probably wouldn't do this in most other fights, but because I am trying to get it leveled up, I'm utilizing it more because I do want to get as much Valor Form EXP. So the way that Valor Form levels up is through hits. So the more hits that I get on enemies, the more EXP I get. So utilizing it right now in these boss fights is huge because I can get the EXP per hit, and you saw how powerful that was as I was continuing to go through each of these different levels and get those different hits, I was able to get a ton of additional information. Perfect. So that lets me know, that gives me the hint that I need. Doesn't give me the information that I want, but that's okay. We continue on. We press forward with the randomizer, and we will now head out into our next set of missions here, which we're going to switch that over to Goofy, so that way actually that might not even stick when I go back into this mission. It did. Great. So we want to utilize Valor Form here, so that way I can continue to level this up. Now that it is level 5, I will actually cut out of that drive, and I don't think it will let me use Master Form here because I am required to have Ping in my party. But that's okay because I am Zeus. Ouch. I got booped by the Nightcrawler, but again, we're okay. So we are going to continue to clear out our different worlds. We're getting a lot more information, which is really good. The next form that we are needing to find either is that final form, which is going to be in a 100-acre wood somewhere, or it is going to be in what is it? Or there will be an ability that we can find that will help us force it, which I'm actually going to check and see if maybe I did get that ability. I turned on Dodge Slash? What? I do not remember myself doing that, but I will turn that off here now that I've finished this mission. Oh, I got really excited when I saw that, that look. Dodge Slash, I don't want. Light versus darkness. So I'm looking for an ability called Light and Dark, which I do not have, which is fine, because that just means that we will continue to press on with what we've got. Light and Darkness is an ability that will allow us to force Final Form without needing to find it in the world. So being able to have it as soon as possible is super... Being able to get it, especially right now when we have other drive forms and we know that getting Final Form is very necessary. It is a very nice ability to be able to find. But in the meantime, we're just going to continue to clear our way through Land of Dragons. So I will go ahead and toss it back to my wonderful host, who has been absolutely killing it this time, by the way. Everybody, give your love to Echo.
Oh, thank you, Zoj. You've been absolutely killing it in this run as well. We have a $3.77 donation from Keyblade Brent, who says, "You got this, Zojalyx. I really admire your commentary skills. Thanks for making this run entertaining." And thank you, Keyblade Brent, for making it a whole dollar amount again. $809 total for this event. So I am very proud.
Thank you so much, Brett, for the kind words and the donation. I'm getting a lot of love from my homies in this run, and I love it. It makes me very happy. So yeah, this is a cave fight. I don't even know what time is on the timer right now.
Currently, I think we're looking about an hour and 6 minutes around that time.
Okay. So we're only needing 2 more items. We just need the Promise Charm, and we need that last fruit. So I'm really hoping that we can find it quickly. But since we are out of hints at this, actually, I might go and do some leveling up, because that is what our next hint is, and being able to get that would be very useful. So we are actually going to go ahead and we're going to pivot and do some leveling, which thankfully there is a wonderful spot where I can level. I just want to check and see if I have... Okay, I know I have one on a Keyblade, so that's fine. So we are going to be utilizing this ability called Experience Boost. What that does is when our health is below 50%, that will actually increase the amount of experience that we need. And since up in the top left corner of my tracker where you see Sora's head, those are checks that we get from leveling. And so we are wanting to do what we can so that way we can get experience quickly. Oh, I should have taken off my armor here. That's okay. I should still be able to hit the threshold pretty quickly because crit is nice that way. Alright, I'm gonna take one more hit. Okay. Oh, do not. Oh, that's right, Genie heals me. That makes my life more difficult. We're gonna dismiss Genie then, and we are going to set our party members to Sora attack. That way they won't do anything, and then we can just keep going. Alright, so this is Screens. Screens is a big leveling area. So I'm going to take just a little bit of damage, take one tiny little bit more here. Okay, that should be good. And now I can utilize my abilities to hopefully level quickly, which actually I just thought of another way that I can do this more efficiently, but it's fine. It is what it is. We're just going to keep going with what we got. So we're going to instead just Zeus a bunch of things. And you can see how even just with the one experience boost that I have, how quickly I am leveling up here. And so we're going to try and get as much experience as we can to hopefully get us that next hint. Because as many hints as we can get, the better off we will be. I'm just going to shift into limit form and then out again to refill our magic. Do it one more time. Oh, I forgot I get my HP back, but that's okay. When I do that, so my experience boost is not as effective, but that's fine. We're still going to go and just do as much. Okay, we're at this point not going to be able to take out too many more enemies, so we're going to move on. Didn't find any of the checks that we needed at that point, which is unfortunate, but again, we keep moving. We keep pushing forward. I'm really hoping that, because we're still got quite a few hints we can actually find throughout this seed, and I'm really hoping that our hints will lead us down the right path. So this is kind of turning into a little bit of a rando where you just kind of get bullied by the seed, but that's okay. We're going to go forward into our next major boss fight, which is the Hostile Program. This fight can be very scary on crit, so here's hoping that it goes well. I also just realized that my magic stat is not the best, which would explain why I didn't do as much damage during that as I thought I was doing. I need Wishing Lamp, because that was my best Keyblade. Then we will go ahead and move on to this fight. Now, we're still needing that last proof, which again we know is on a dry form, and then we need the Promise Charm. Which, if we don't find the Promise Charm, it's not a big deal. That just means that I will go through and we'll just do the World That Never Was. Basically, what the settings entail is that World That Never Was will have no important checks, so we can still go through the end of the run without the Promise Charm. It just would be a lot better if we are able to get the Promise Charm. So we'll go here, so we do that, and we can shift into Master Form here. This is very much... Oh, come on. This is the fun part about randomizers as well, is each fight is very uniquely different. You will not be doing the same strategies every single time, because you might not have all the same tools every single time. So it is very important during each randomizer that you have knowledge of the abilities and what they do, because with having that knowledge allows you to understand the game, understand what you need to do in order to beat your fights, and thus we were able to get through that Hostile Program fight very quickly, despite not having the tools that we would like. But also, I probably have the tools that I'm looking... One of the big boss fighting tools that I could have. I just haven't actually looked at Donald's items, and I do not have that, so I don't feel as bad, which is great. Okay, Disney Castle has been revealed, which we've already cleared all of, so that's not very helpful. This is once again another situation of Rando be Rando when you don't want Rando to be Rando. Let's see, Ukulele Charm to get me Stitch, and Beast Claw to get me the next visit in Beast Castle, which actually that might not be a bad idea to go. Where do you think I should go after? Actually, we're gonna go to Olympus Coliseum after this chat. I just realized I have a ton of things that I can check there. So that will be the next question. This is just going to be a bit of an auto-scroller. We can't really do a ton of EXP boosting here at our level. So I will go ahead and I'll toss it back over to you, Echo, if you have anything you want to plug during this time.
This is a very chaotic screen right now. Are these a bunch of bees attacking you?
Yes, they are bee heartless.
Okay.
This is like... So, we're in Land of Dragons, which takes the story of Mulan. And the bees are essentially the Hun army. Rather than it actually being the Hun army, it's a bunch of bees.
I was gonna say, I don't remember the bee movie being Disney, but perhaps it made an appearance here.
You know, when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, you never know what you're gonna see. Alright, so we made it through this summit section, which is great. We defeated the Hun army, even though we didn't actually defeat the Hun army, because as you saw, there was still a ton of bees left. But it's okay. So at this point now, Mulan, Ping has been outed as Mulan. Which, weirdly enough, for some reason, Mulan, or Ping, is weird distinctions, but it is important. Ping as a party member is not very useful. Mulan, however, is significantly more useful. She has a ton of really, really cool, like, combo attacks that she uses with Mushu that makes her actually, like, a super epic party member. So she will be very useful. Which, actually, she won't be, because we're going to shift into Master Form, which doesn't let us have party members, because Master Form is also very strong, in case you couldn't tell, based on the one spell that took out multiple enemies. And we can then just utilize our cleanup here. And get all of these drive orbs, which gives us level 5 on Master Form. Which is great. Still not a step closer. Well, it's one step closer to finishing the randomizer, but not quite where we want to be. Here is really hoping that we get something very, very useful here. I'm either looking for a Torn Page or Wisdom Form. One of those two things. So chat, please give us all of the bless that you can bless with. Because the more we are blessed, the faster the seed goes. Although maybe you don't want it to be blessed, because the more cursed the seed is and the more running for wheels we have. There is a weird trade-off there. And we're just going to utilize our Thunders to finish off Shan Yu here. This randomizer, too, is just... It's super satisfying when you start getting into that groove. Like you've... I don't know if you've noticed, but... Ooh, nice! Space Paranoids has been revealed, and it has a cure. Okay, so we know we don't need to go into Space Paranoids anymore, which is fine. So one of the things that you might notice is that in this randomizer, once you kind of start feeling the groove and getting into your rhythm, you don't have to worry nearly as much. I don't know, because we had our 2 deaths that were super early on, but we have not died since we first went into Beast Castle. So we have just been able to find a nice little groove where we can clear out these different worlds very quickly, which is great. And it's one of the things that I think I've been very happy with when it comes to this randomizer, because there's very clear levels of skill progression that you're able to feel like you've hit, and that when you are going through the randomizer, you feel like, I feel like I'm getting better with each seed, and my understanding of the game is growing, my enjoyment of the game is growing, because when you are doing a randomizer too, everything is so different. You know, you're learning the game, you're learning more things about the game, more ways to fight bosses, make fights easier, or make them harder if you are really crazy and want to do something like the boss randomizer, which is where bosses will show up in different rooms that they wouldn't normally be in. So you could actually, in doing a boss randomizer, you could very easily find going into this upcoming fight here where I'm fighting Cerberus, I could find Sephiroth and have to fight Sephiroth, which would be really unfortunate if this were a boss randomizer, but thankfully we are not doing that, and we can now just beat up Cerberus by blasting him with lightning, because Thundaga is very, very overpowered. Just go Ether here, and then we'll finish off Cerberus. Thunder is a very strong spell, in case you guys have not put that together already. Alright, so now that we've finished off Cerberus, we're going to take a quick pit stop here to the Moogle, and just double check, make sure there isn't something that I needed in these other items. There's not. So we can grab grab more ethers, to give us a bunch more, so that way we do not have to worry about running out of ethers at all throughout the rest of the seed. Alright, so from here, the next... Oh, I have all the way up to Twilight Town 3. I was not aware of that, so we're going to go ahead. Once we finish Olympus Coliseum, we will go ahead and we will finish our trek through Twilight Town. So, again, doing everything that we can to get through the seed quickly. We have that one ability that we found, Magnet Burst, which draws all of the enemies in, and... then does that magic attack-based explosion, and we can then add onto it by attaching 2 negative combos, so that way we can do that. Clearing out that pot minigame, that earn minigame very quickly. And then we can go from here into, we're going to then, I have Guard Break on. I don't want Guard Break on anymore now that I have Explosion. And I just turned it back on because my finger slipped. Haha! So we're going to then head out back into the underworld to look for more checks. Let's see here. Hopefully I can do not this next room, but the room after it without missing out on checks, because most of the time I'm like, oh no, I don't know where all of these... We're going to like a weird maze, and it's for some weird reason just the room that always messes me up in terms of whether or not I've gotten all of the checks. So I'm gonna grab that one. I think I should be fine because I've been doing this enough that I hopefully understand what I'm doing. And we should be good to go into here. Another fire element. World is not blue yet, which means there is more to find. And now we're going to come here to deal with Demyx's water clones. So Demyx is going to spawn 100 of these water clones, and this is where Magnet Burst once again becomes super useful. Because I can just sit here and spam Magnet Burst, and it clears through these forms so quickly. Normally, you would have to use this ability, you would have to use their reaction command, which is when we get that triangle button prompt. We would have to use that to throw the forms back at each other, but by using that Magnet Burst, we can then clear them out much faster. And then we're going to come here, grab all of these chests in this room, to then go into our next fight, where we will be fighting none other than, you would think, Hades going into the underworld, right? Wrong. We are fighting Pete. And how we're going to fight Pete is we're just going to dash into him, immediately go into Master Form, and get beat up a little bit, so he's not going to let me do what I want to do. But now that he's got what he wanted, I can use my Master Form here to finish him off. Very quick fight. And even in the vanilla speedrun, that fight is still very fast, because there's just a great way to utilize all of the tools. And if you are interested in the Kingdom Hearts speedrun, I highly would recommend picking up this randomizer, and even just this game as a speed game in general. All of the there's so many tools that get utilized, and even across all the different versions between Final Mix on PC as well as PlayStation. If you're playing the original PS2 port, there's really unique strats that are very different than the HD version on Final Mix. There's just overall there's such interesting speed games throughout every single version. Why did it lock onto that Hydra head? Alright. mean, not like it really made a difference, but it still beat it up pretty quickly. Also, we will not be getting on the Hydra's back. Sorry, Phil. We are not getting on the Hydra's back, and it's really funny to listen to him yell at you about getting up on the Hydra's back in Japanese. But we are not doing that. We're just gonna beat them all up quickly and then utilize Thunder to finish off this fight. Make it go by very quickly, and hopefully we get what we need once we finish off all of the different cutscenes and button prompts. Or at least if we do clear the world, then we know we found everything that we need, which is also going to be really good information. Cool. We found that. Okay, so we've got good information now. We now know that the Promise Charm is in Land of Dragons 2. So we are going to indeed pivot to go grab that, because that is a item that is necessary in order to finish this seed. So grabbing that is going to be really good information. As soon as we can get it, then we will dip out, which, knowing the way that this seed has been going and the luck we have been getting, it will probably end up showing up after the boss in this, after the last boss in this world. Also, this is our second visit, so each world in this has a second visit. And in those second visits, your battle level, gets increased by a significant margin. So while I've been getting through a lot of stuff quickly, now that I am going through things here in Land of Dragons 2, the battle level has gone up quite a bit, so my risk of dying does go once again back up. But thankfully, with the items that I have, the stats that I have, I'm not too worried about it, but there is, again, still just a slight little bit of worry. Not a major worry, just a mini worry. So, hopefully, we can get through this fight quickly, but since we have Master Form and Pandaga, we should be able to just utilize this a lot, and then I can hopefully get lucky or unlucky, depending on what the seed decides. Okay, perfect. We did get this version of Magnet Burst, which is great, because that does that, and then one more Thunder finishes off that fight. The impromptu decision-making in randomizers becomes very key. And in a game like this one that is very fight-focused, making sure that you understand how each of your abilities work and what you need to do to be able to clear things quickly does become very key in getting through the randomizer quickly. It's not something that I would say is absolutely necessary to be a phenomenal randomizer player, but it is certainly something that you would want to be aware of during randomizers, so that way when you are in situations like this one where I don't have one of my favorite spells in the game, which is Magnet. Since I have not found a Magnet yet, my normal strategy that would be used for clearing out enemies, I'm not able to use, so I have to improvise quite a bit to get through the seed. Alright, perfect. So there's our Promise Charm, which is great. That means that now we can then move on to other areas of the seed. And we can keep going. And we're going to pivot now to go to Twilight Town. Oh my gosh, my nose has been like super itchy this entire seed, and it's so weird. Summon Genie here for a different style of... Ooh, I didn't know what version I got. Valor? Okay. Well, I still don't have Magnet for actually the strat that I was looking at doing. So, actually, having Genie here is just gonna not be useful. We're just gonna get this in. This is where I really wish I had Magnet, because it is very nice for the crowd control that you would use to get through fights like this quickly. But alas, rando be rando. I'm trying to think of... Okay, I don't have any hints for anywhere else yet, which is fine. This is actually turning out to be a pretty full clear. I guess if we ever get to a point where we're ready to, if we ever want to just mercy kill the run, because I know that we are probably already past estimate. I don't know where we're at in terms of estimate.
We are currently at 1 hour and 26 minutes, so
26,
you still have about
okay.
10 minutes till we hit that estimate.
Okay. That will be really tight to hit. Okay, that's huge. That's exactly what we were looking for. Okay, wow. Actually, we're gonna keep going because I still need to find Master Wisdom Form. But we found that torn page, so that's good. Then we will need to get Final Form, which will
Chat
be
sent in the good luck, and we got all the good luck we needed.
Yes, thank you guys. Okay, I really, really hope Wisdom Form is here, because if Wisdom Form is here, then we will be able to level up all of our drives as far as we need to. I actually think I'm going to do this a different way than I normally would, and I am going to pivot to go grab that Final Form, because of how important Final Form is for clearing the seed, and there's going to be one fight that we will be able to take here that will be... Oh, never mind. We have everything in Twilight Town, so we will go ahead and we will dip. Okay. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. We're getting there, chat. Alright, so we're gonna come into a spooky cave here, and I'm really hoping that Final Form is in the minigame here and not at the very end. So we can just go through, grab our chests, slip on the ice, but that's okay, that's normal. Oh, there's Trinity in it. Another spell that would have been really nice to have, like, 10 minutes ago. I'm just gonna make sure I get everything. There's our next torn, our final torn page. Do I always feel like I miss chests whenever I'm doing this minigame? Just because of the way that this minigame functions. I went down that way area, went up there. Yep, I knew it. Yep, and Rando be Rando, and they're gonna send us all the way to Starry Hill, which I'm once again going backwards. Unless I do get Final Form here. Which we did. Great. Okay, so now I don't need to worry about going back there, and then we can head to the next area that we want to go, which is Hollow Bastion. Because that is actually the next major world that we would need, that we can get a bunch of checks in. And also, we will be fighting a bunch of nobodies in a lot of our required fights. So fighting nobodies are what we need in order to clear out, in order to level up Final Form, which also is our most powerful drive form. So I'm really hoping that with what we will have for our final proof will be on, actually it'll be much faster than fly, will be on Final Form, because then A, we don't have to worry about trying to find Wisdom Form, but also we will have everything, we will then get through the seed a lot quicker. Or, since Hollow Bastion is currently unhinted, there is a chance that Wisdom Form might just show up here. So once again, this is a great time, chat, to fill us with all the love and all the blessings, because as soon as we find this, we can find our Final Form, find what we need, we can rush our way to the end of this seed. Alrighty, Echo, if you have anything else you would like to plug during this time, now is another great time to do so.
Yeah. While you were running, I did the math, and across all of the Real Hope events, we have raised $6,575. So that is 10 videos, but an extra $25 will get us to that 11th video in total. Chat, I believe in you. We got a little bit left. Do you think we can get an 11th video total across all of the events? That would be another child successfully showcased to an adoptive family.
So, as of course, as randomizers like to go, the game decided to tease us, and this is where Wisdom Form was. So now we have everything that we need in order to finish the game. All we have to do at this point is just get our drive. We have to kind of play a guessing game as to which drive form is the one that is going to be the one that gives us the proof. Because now we have every single drive form. There it is. There's our final proof on final level 3. We now have everything that we need to finish the game. So once we finish this, fight, we can just dip back out to our save point and then head to the final boss. And let me tell you, in terms of the... Oh, I'm gonna... Ooh. I just realized I do not have a reflect yet. Do I make the final boss really hard for myself and try and do a final... reflectless final boss? I don't think I want to do that yet. That sounds a little too scary for my liking. So, we're gonna pop into Disney Castle here because I can do... I just need one reflect. That's really all that I want. Oh, I gotta hit the right button. Nope. Come on, game. There it is. Game, you're blessing me now. Exactly what I needed you to show up. You have shown up. Love it. So we now have our final reflect, which is... Well, we have a reflect, which is huge. So reflect is the most powerful spell in the game, and you will see how it will be utilized quite a bit. So I am now going to set myself up for absolute success going into our final fights here. So now that we have all 3 proofs and the promise charm, we can head up into here, and I'm actually going to go ahead just to give myself a few extra EXP stats. Might not give me a ton of levels, but being able to just get what I can will be useful. You can never, if just even for the extra stats, will be good. I just want to make sure that I can go into this as most prepared as possible. Alright, so here we go into the final boss rush. We are going to introduce Riku. We are not going to take him in our party, which is totally okay. He's not going to be the most useful early on, and he will get forced into our party later. So this is the final boss rush. We are going to be starting off by fighting that giant castle. Because, you know, what else are you going to fight in a randomizer and in a Kingdom Hearts game than a giant castle? I've also noticed that Kingdom Hearts in general just really likes to have us fight giant structures. And so, we're going to pop around and jump up here. I'm actually even going to show off our wonderful summon, Stitch. So, Stitch is going to be really useful because we're going to be spamming Magnet. And once our MP gets super low, Stitch will actually, he will lick our portrait, and it will refill our magnet. So when we're doing this first part of this fight, where we have to destroy these cylinders by sending these nobody bombs into them, we can utilize Stitch's wonderful ability of refilling our magic to keep it higher, to be much stronger, and that will help us to be in a much better setup for this fight. So we finished off that part, and now we're gonna go do the finishing touches on the castle. Oh yeah, I gotta actually beat up the core first. So we're going to utilize our ability. Now that we have a magnet, I can actually show off what my favorite way of dealing with mobs is, these mob fights, which is utilizing an ability that we got called Explosion, and then we can also, on top of that, use Magnet as a combo tool. And that combo then allows us to, not only do we keep all of the nobodies exactly where we want them to be, but when they hit our explosion, we do a ton of damage. And so I can then utilize those spells specifically in combination to do crowd control and a ton of damage. And then if need... Oh, okay, so now we've got our second reflect, which is going to, again, help us be a lot stronger. Which should show up as we get into this next fight here. where we're going to start fighting our actual final boss, which is Xemnas. This is Armored Xemnas 1. He is going to be kind of an obnoxious boss, but thankfully, because we have Reflect, you can see just when I do activate Reflect, actually how strong it is. So I can utilize... Ooh, boy. Okay. Fine. This fight is going a little weird, which is, again, it's totally fine, and it happens. Ouch. Fine. There. Took a lot of damage there, but that's crit for you. That's normal. We survived, and that's what matters. Now we've got to fight Armored Xemnas 2. This time we lose all of our party members and we're reduced to just us and just Sora and Riku. So we are going to continue to fight him. And utilizing our abilities, we kind of have to like pay attention to how he does everything. And then Armored Xemnas 2 is divided into 3 phases. We just finished phase 1. And we get to phase 2 by doing this fun little building minigame. We're going to chuck some buildings into this giant shield. And then we're actually going to perform a small little skip here. Blink and you'll miss it kind of a thing. The moment we get control of Sora again, if we hit jump and then glide again, we'll actually skip a bunch of lasers that will show up. So we can then skip those lasers and not have to worry about them being a problem. Ouch. Yeah, I was about to say, Riku, you want to use an item for me? Thank you. And then we've gotten into the second phase, so he is going to hit us again with his wind attack to send us flying. I'm going to mash our dodge here, so that way we can fly super heckin' high and get above these lasers. And then once we get down, this building will spawn. We'll smack it into Xemnas again. And then we will get ready to go into our final phase. Do that laser skip one more time. Drop down. Alright, so we're about to go into Final Xemnas. I want to explain kind of a strat that we're going to be looking for in Final Xemnas, because how it's going to work is we're going to be going for a trick called Dome Skip. At the end, if you play Kingdom Hearts 2 casually, you remember at the very end there's this really epic button mashing section where you have to mash a couple of buttons to keep your party members alive. Well, a wonderful quality of life mod was once again created so that way you can actually skip that phase. And we're going to hopefully try and to successfully do that skip. It's going to be it's probably going to be a little difficult. We'll see if we can get it, but you know, it'll go a couple of ways. It'll either go really bad, or we'll just get domed, and that'll be the end of the season. You know, no big problem either way. Thanks for that. Healing item. And we're just going to utilize our limit form here. This is going to actually push Xemnas into his next phase. Ouch. And then we can use our reflect here to do a ton of damage. And then I'm going to actually do that reflect, hit and go into a limit here. And just for safety, I think we've got Dome Skip. So time will be coming up on the last hit on Xemnas. Oh, we pushed him a little too far out. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. We can still do this. I just have to make sure I'm spamming reflex, and then we should be okay. This is okay. We hit the limit. Everything is fine. We'll hit this, and time. And that is also a Dome Skip to wrap that up. So, there we go. That is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer. Fresh faces, any %. A very brutal seed, actually. That was probably one of the harsher seeds I've ever had during these settings. These settings have a chance of being like jet seeds that'll go by really quickly, or they have a chance like this one. And since it was a little bit more impromptu, I didn't have time to properly vet the seed like I wanted to, but that's okay. We made it through. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this for the marathon. Thank you guys for donating that $50 and all the donations that have happened. I'm just going to go ahead and go into marathon closeout at this point because we have hit the end of Running for Reals 2025. It is the end of this event. We have done some incredible work, guys. We have raised $809 for the Real Hope Project. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this incredible event. It has been just absolutely amazing. I do want to give a huge shout out to everybody who has been involved in this event. I totally had planned on making like a fun little end credits thing, but I totally did not prep that ahead of time. So I'll try and speed run some of these shout outs here as we go into this. Just give me 1 second while I pull up our list of people, because I do want to get through this nice and quickly because we're already a little bit past time, but it's okay because we raised a good chunk of money and I'm very happy with how this went. So first, I do want to give a shout outs to all of our runners. I'm going to just go down the list in alphabetical order. We have Focus Sight, Fetty, Sakiri, Stop Jesse, and this is also including both accepted and backup runners. Super Skank, Ad 129, Debionaire, Loser, Spaghetti, Rye Bread, Panzer Dare, Dr. Pie, Cellcouth Mind, Echo Tree, Chuck Nicey, Sam 37 RTL, Spyron, Saucy, Spaghetti, Giri, Thermal Square. I really hope I have all of them, but my list has completely decided it wants to be different. So if I missed you, I do apologize, but anybody who was a runner, thank you guys so much. Sushi Kishi as well, I know was a runner, and if there's anybody else that I missed, I apologize, but I do want to give all shout outs to all of our runners, as well as all of our volunteers. Ikarios, Ketty Cat, Alara, OG Happy Dude, James Swan, Cubs Rule 21. Oh, Echo, you were a runner. I know that. Shout outs to you. Kiridis, KRT,
Thank you, Zoj.
Spaghetti, Cellcouth Mind, Echo Tree, Sam 37 RTL, Sushi Kishi, and Dr. Pie, as well as Spyron for doing all of the restream and being our tech director. Thank you so much, guys. This marathon could not have happened without you guys, as well as to everybody who has been here in chat, donated, watched everything, shared on social media, whatever that looks like. Huge shout outs to you guys. Again, this marathon would not have been possible without you guys. And like I had said earlier, I was ready for this to be the last Running for Reals. But you guys have come up in some incredible ways, and so this will definitely not be the end. So make sure you guys join our Discord for any and all updates for future Running for Reals events. That is going to be the best way that you will be able to find us. So please, guys, do join our Discord. We would very much appreciate that. And with that, that is going to do it for us here for Running for Reals. Echo, I will give you a chance to do a sign-off since I kind of just took over for end of marathon shout-outs and stuff, and I want to give you a time to say your goodbyes.
Oh yeah, no problem, Zoj. This has been an absolutely incredible event to be a runner and a volunteer from.